Now he's got absolutely terrible vigilance and cool. Now, as a GM, I tend to be a little bit lazy when it comes to initiative as far as for NPCs, so a lot of times I give them the exact same, so I can just make one macro. If you want to make two different macros, you can, but I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, if you're trying to roll initiative, you actually, for combat, you want to use the part where it says initiative. If you use cool or vigilance down here, it's going to be just a normal check, okay? And so you want to avoid that if you're trying to put them in the initiative tracker, which you'll see is over here. So if you hit this button here, it'll create the roll. You're going to just do the same thing. Click down here, hit up, Control A, Control C, attributes and abilities, add cool vigilance. Now again, you're going to want to add, well, a lot of times you don't need to have a modifier to the pool, but if you want to, you can still use the exact same kind of stuff before. So I'm just going to take this exact same bit of code and I am going to paste it in there. We're going to give it a shot and see if it works. Okay, click on him, shows up, cool vigilance. I'm going to spend a destiny point here. So one, submit. He is not, it will say he's not caught off guard, so there's nothing to submit there. You just hit submit, and now he is in the pool there. You can see here, he's got the 3. So he is in the order there, and that's a handy token for macros. Now, you can see here that I've got a couple of different designations for more information. Okay, now there's a pack on Roll20. I think it's on the marketplace. It's free, I believe, and maybe it's not on the marketplace, but it's the forums. But you can look. I'll try to provide the link below. But there's an awesome status marker here that is for FFG. Okay, and you can add certain things. So what I like to do is, if they're a nemesis, or correction, if they have ranks in adversary, so there might be a rival, I use a red dot. Okay, and now if I want more than one more than one upgrade, because they're Nemesis 2, Nemesis 3, if you hover over the dot and you hit 2, 3, 4, etc., it will go up, I believe, to 9. So obviously no one's going to have that. But we'll say this guy has adversary 2. You can say, you can use these things for various effects. If they have armor, innately, I like to use the white tower, or I use, or not the white tower, the black tower, or I use the keep, or I use a shield. So that's a really useful way. If they have multiple defense, right, you can change it by hovering over and pressing 1, 2, or 3. You just remove it by clicking the exact same symbol again. So this makes it extremely handy. Likewise, if they have a critical injury, it's an easy way to keep track of. You know, you put 2, 3, 4, they start to stack up. If someone passes a blue, right, I'll put plus a blue on there. Sometimes I'll just use the big blue because it's easier to spot. If someone is going to take a black, if they shoot at them, right, when targeted, add setback, right? Maybe they have 2 or 3. So there's tons of useful stuff here as far as the status icons go, besides just the vanilla ones. There's someone on the forums, I think, made a link on how to add these to your thing. I'll try to make a video on it maybe later. But this is an excellent assortment of icons to use for your tokens. And as far as adding, since he is linked here, you can add various health bars, strain, or soak. I will typically put their health or their wounds in red, and their blue will be their soak. Here you can see a minion, and this minion has 5 wounds and 3 soak. Now, If they have strain, you might add that in green. And you can actually link it if you want to by finding, you gotta go to this little drop down menu and you type in to get you to NBC, and then you're gonna see, so for instance, we're gonna scroll down, there's a ton of this, so a lot of times I don't link it this way, I just put in a number, so like wounds, okay, and this guy had 18 wounds. Now, I still think in terms of a lot of tabletop games, and I count down, and it's also easier for me visually, because what will happen is I'll go to advanced here, I will say bar 3, they can see it, but the text is only visible to the editors, and I'll hit save changes. Now I can see that he has 18 out of 18 wounds, right? Technically, right, he's not wounded, and I count down. But visually from my players, they'll see that if he takes a whole bunch of damage, uh, and you can just hit -8, and it will subtract it. Then they can see that he's wounded, right? So then they don't have to keep asking me, hey, is this guy hurt? Is he torn up? Can I make a check to see how damaged he is? They can just see, oh, okay, he's got about half health, right, or whatever, or maybe he's on the brink of death here, and they don't need to see the actual numbers, so they're not, too busy metagaming, um, and but it still gives them a visual cue. And I do the same thing for my PCs. So this is my landing page here, and I'll try to make a link of it in the description below. But each of my PCs can see the other's health, as well as their strain, if I'm not mistaken, so that they can tell, if they're really torn up and they need to go help them out, or hey, should we run away, etc., without kind of slowing down the game of like, hey, can I make a check to see how wounded they are, or whatever. So it also helps me as a GM to know if I need to throw more stuff at them, spend some destiny points to get some extra minions in there, or maybe slow down if it's not that big of a battle. So the same rules apply for a nemesis as well as a rival. The same mechanics as far as macros go. So here I've got a chieftain, right? He's got a bunch of different weapons: gaffy stick, initiative, and a rifle. And in a different video, I will show you how to create minion groups using this system, because it's extremely useful. So just as a preview, here's a minion group. I want them to roll, right? And you're saying to yourself, well, how do I determine the size of the minions? I'm going to hit blaster pistol. It's going to create mob count. We're going to say there's 3. Submit. They're not going to upgrade. The dice pool is 2 purple because they're at medium range. Submit, and boom. These guys can't shoot for jack. But you can see that I was able to adjust it. So if I want to say that there is a whole bunch of dudes, say 6, 2p, boom, now I've got all those dice, and holy cow, they still managed to fail. That's pretty funny. But in the next video, I will show you how to create minion groups here, and it'll make it very, very easy for you. Thank you. If you would like to support me, or you're a GM, I will recommend, of course, that you check out this product I've made for Drive-Thru RPG. It's called Skill Adventures, and it's skill challenges for any setting. And while it's technically for the Genesys Foundry and it's for the Genesys role-playing game system, Genesys and Star Wars FFG are essentially the exact same system, with a few minor differences. And I created it with GMs in mind, not just for Genesys, which is the universal role-playing system, but specifically for Star Wars GMs as well. So for instance, you've got tons of different options in there. It's a great way to add foot chases, vehicle chases. I've got some stuff for making a duel. If you ever thought, hey, how do I have my players infiltrate a secret hidden facility or a smuggler's den? There's rules for that. It's much like skill challenges from different games, and you'll see a lot of familiarity there. But if you've ever thought about, man, how can I make travel across a desert or through this dark forest on Kashyyyk interesting? This book will help you create these adventures that you're really looking for to fill in the gaps or to add key adventures in a session. So maybe you're need some downtime and there's going to be a barroom brawl. Maybe there's going to be a gala event where they're going to try to gather information, right? I've also included information on how to do a smuggling run, which is of course extremely important for Star Wars. So it gives you some information there because even though smuggling is a huge trope of Star Wars and the Star Wars universe, there's not really great mechanics on how to run one. Uh, and so this will show you all kinds of different ways to run various adventures that work in any setting, not just Star Wars, not just fantasy. So, for instance, traveling an asteroid through an asteroid field, if you are running in Genesys, right, that could be running through a very rough patch of sea along a rocky coast, etc. There's also some role-playing activities in there as well. It's 80 pages and it's fully colored art throughout the text. If you need some skilled adventures and you're GM and you want to help me out, uh, please check this out on Drive-Thru RPG. The link will be in the description below. I think that it will only help you create great adventures for your game. Thank you.